Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Joe Nofo Show. I, as always, am your host, Joe Nofo, and tonight's show brings back a character from the past. You know him, you love him, Captain Bragg of the fishing vessel, the Braggadocio. And tonight he returns to defend his championship by default as the Crustiest Sea Captain in America. Default, you ask? Well, that's just too much to get into right here as an intro, so I'm just going to turn it over to tonight's host, Mike Mariner, the dyslexic game show host. Mikey, take her away.
Hello everyone out there and welcome to the second episode of Ameriquest, America's greatest game show. I am your host, Mark Mariner, and on tonight's electrifying show, we are once again having another face-off to determine who America's Crustiest Sea Captain truly is. As you probably know, after viewers' votes came pouring in from our previous episode, Captain Bluto was announced as America's Crustiest Sea Captain, beating Captain Bragg by a long shot. But unfortunately for Captain Bluto, we recently received horrible news that he was eaten by a mako shark while bathing next to his boat in the Florida Straits, and therefore he must be posthumously forfeit, and as a result, Captain Bragg is once again our reigning champion. That's sad news, but rising from the ashes of this calamitous and bizarre happening, and due to a new revelation in the world of science and anthropology, we now have a new contender for the throne. Allow me to explain. At one of the most prestigious anthropological centers in the world, an old pirate ship being over 300 years old was discovered washed ashore in dense jungle thicket of the Polynesian island, and some DNA was removed from an old seaman's coat of a pirate that was marked in rank as a captain, and after years of study and development, that captain has been reanimated. And once again, after 300 years of being dead, this captain is alive and walking and talking again. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce Captain Yellowbeard, commander of the pirate ship Ye Olde Sturry Dog.
Thank you. Captain Bragg's glad to be here again, and I speak for Yellowbeard too. He's just been reanimated, so maybe he's not as sharp as old Captain Bragg, so let me welcome him into the shop too. Okay, take it away.
Well, then everything is set for tonight's contest of who is America's Crustiest Sea Captain. There will be 4 questions for each captain, and then depending on whose answers are crustiest, you, the viewers, will decide who is America's Crustiest Sea Captain. All right, then the first question goes out to our reigning captain, Captain Bragg. Here goes. You're in port at some undisclosed location on the eastern seaboard, and you are buying provisions for your voyage that departs the following day. You just paid a merchant for 150 pounds of bacon, and when you get it on your boat scale, it comes up as 149, 1 pound short. What do you do to rectify this problem, Captain Bragg?
Pleased to buy the best. Well, I know exactly what to do in this situation because I faced the same exact situation many times in the past. The first thing you gotta do is drag all the bacon out of the boat and bring it back to port and lay it out on the floor to keep it Purveyor's place of business and start yelling loud enough so that everyone standing around can hear what you got to say. You yell, "Everyone gather around and let me introduce you to the local bacon thief. I just purchased 150 pounds of bacon from this man. 150 pounds I purchased from this man. I got it back to the ship, and he cheated me out of an entire damn pound. And believe you me, that bacon purveyor, he will not cheat you again anytime soon because I'm going to give him a vocalizer that's going to kick him right in the guts. That's what I do.
Wow, Captain Bragg, that's one crusty answer. But let's see what our newly reanimated captain has up his sleeve. Captain Yellowbeard, same question. What are you gonna do?
And then you tie a rope to the bacon thief and throw him in the side into the water that's always being trailed by the killer sharks due to the fact that us pirates are always throwing leftover food in our own crap and piss in the water. Well, let's just say this. The bastard won't be shorting you out of me bacon. Because there'll be nothing floating but a lump of shark shit.
Wow, that has to be the crustiest answer yet. Captain Bragg, you sure have your work cut out for you. If you want to play in this game, and here it is, question 2. You're on board your way out to sea, and the new navigator you hired puts your ship dead on a sandbar, and you are stuck there for at least the next 10 hours until the tide raises enough to free you. What do? Do you fire the navigator on the spot and do the navigating yourself, or do you give him another chance? Captain Bragg.
Well, the first thing I would do is give him a real good scolding. You know, a real hardcore scolding. Oh, that's good. You know, you gotta put the fear of Neptune into the old boy. And then I'd explain it real good and hard to him that the money's lost for her mistake is coming straight out of his pay, which means he's probably going to be doing all the navigating on this particular voyage for free anyways. And then I'd look him straight dead in the eyes with me scariest look. And I would make sure that he knew better than to do it again. I'd say, do it again and there's going to be a serious problem. You understand me, son? Do it again and I'm going to take it out of your ass. That's what I'd do.
That answer, I believe, just made you slide a few rungs down the crusty ladder, Captain Bragg. You better turn up the crustiness if you want to stay afloat. No pun intended. Okay, now the same question goes to Captain Yellowbeard. What do you say, Captain Yellowbeard? Your new navigator gets you stuck on a sandbar. What are you gonna do? Take it, Captain.
What's this she Captain Bragg said? He'd give him a scolding? What the hell's that gonna do? What the scallywag needs after beaching a ship would be a scalding, not a scolding. That's right, you draw a corner-called Saxon reader's spread eagle out on the yardarm. And 50 or so lashes with the count of 9 tails. You then proceed for scalding. Whales blubber down his bare back until he screams a siren song of pity. So pathetic, it makes the pelicans shout, cute or blue at the same time.
Wow, Captain Yellowbeard, that seems a bit outlandish. I mean, scalding someone with boiling whale blubber seems rather extreme, don't you think?
Bradley West is back, and he's back with a vengeance. After narrowly escaping the sunny island of Key West with his very life, Bradley has moved on to New Orleans into what he hoped would be a better life and a brighter horizon. But unfortunately for private investigator Bradley West, it didn't take long for the infamous city of nightclubs, fine restaurants, and debauchery to send its crazy karma out to find him. This ultra-bizarre saga has all the ingredients for a great American novel. A stolen monster reptile, 2 radically violent and warring factions of the Cajun Mafia, an abused, randomly bloodthirsty and psychopathic serial killer who takes orders from a Nordic god that exists only in his mind. Bloody Tuesday, an epic and terrifying thriller that will place you on a wicked roller coaster ride that will surely leave you wanting more. Read Bloody Tuesday on Amazon Kindle by author Joe Nolfo.
All right, never mind, Captain Yellowbeard. Now, back to Captain Bragg in our contest. Question number 3. A crew member is caught inside the ship's treasury room stealing about $1 worth of change from the safe. When confronted, he says he only did it because he was penniless and needed it to feed his pet parrot some bird feed that is sold in the ship's store. What do you do to rectify this problem? Take it out of his pay with an additional fine attached to the cost? Or do you discipline him beyond that? Or do you just give the guy a pass? Captain Bragg?
Well, now that's a serious offense, I gotta admit. Stealing from the ship safe certainly calls for a much stiffer penalty. That's for sure. That's what old Captain Bragg says anyway. First thing I would do is I'd have the thief lashed to the ship's mast and turn me whipper loose on him. At least 20 or maybe even 30 lashes until he would feel it in his guts. I tell you, that would definitely make him think twice before he stuck his grubby little hands into the cookie jar again. Then I might even back that up with a good talking to. That might be sufficient, I tell ya. Yeah.
And now to Captain Yellowbeard. You just caught one of your crew stealing $1 from the ship's safe. He says to feed his parrot. Tell us, Captain Yellowbeard, what do you do?
I don't know what ye would do, but I'm gonna tell you what I would do. First thing you need to do in a case this extreme is grab the thief and immediately hit him with at least a few hundred lashes until he's on the brink of death. And then you have the scurvy dog thrown into the ship's brig for at least 10, 15 days without feeding. I mean, absolutely no food whatsoever until the robber is next to death from starvation.
That is an incredibly crusty answer, Yellowbeard, and I am very glad that I didn't live back in your day. That's for sure. And now for the final question in the second contest of Ameriquest. Who is America's Crustiest Sea Captain? And this one is going out straight to Captain Bragg. And it goes like this. You leave port for an endeavor that will force you to be out at sea for at least 6 months. And though you do not allow any of your crew members to bring women along, you decide because you are the captain that you would indeed bring a woman for yourself to keep you warm at night. And one night you catch one of your crew members locked up and having their way with her. You know, having hanky-panky. What do you do to mete out punishment? Go ahead, Captain Bragg.
Well, you know, Mr. Man, I'm an everyday sea captain. And I start my day off like every captain do with Captain Crunch for breakfast, and I usually ended up with a little bit of Captain Morgan in the end. Well, let me answer that one in the words of my late great daddy. And he always said that all men are whores, and therefore it can never be the man's fault when there's some whooping going on. And what he meant was that the woman always has the last word before consensual sex is concerned. So what would I do is I would put the woman on a small skiff, turn her out to sea by herself to fend for herself in the great blue ocean all by herself. And if she did survive that punishment and found herself one day on another man's ship, she would think long and hard if she would do any cheating. She'd probably think a lot before she would do any other kind of cheating on the next captain. I guarantee ya. Yeah.
Well, that's a very sensible answer. I must admit, Captain Bragg, although I don't think it would be filed into the crusty file if you catch my drift. But let's move on, and personally I can't wait for the answer of our next captain waiting here in the wings. Captain Yellowbeard, you caught your girl cheating on you with a deckhand. What do you do?
Now that's a very serious offense, and it gets dealt with by the very hand of the pirate gods. I have lived through this sea-large predicament in the past, 100 or so years ago long, before I was reanimated by these scurvy dogs. I was a deckhand, back then working me way up to be a captain, and found that me dirty wrench was having a poking with another deckhand, and I beat him with an inch of his worthless life. Ha 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 ha! But now that I'm a captain, the penalty would have to be more desperate for it. I would have the low-down sea dog lashed 400 or 500 times, and then I'd have him scalded with the molten whale's blubber. Ha 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 ha! And then if he was lucky, I'd have him walk the plank before I could think of any other punishments. Ha 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 ha!
Captain Yellowbeard, we usually have a vote by our viewers to determine who America's Crustiest Sea Captain is. But this week, I don't see any reason to go down that road. And I am personally going to declare Captain Yellowbeard the winner of this episode of Ameriquest, who is America's Crustiest Sea Captain, and the winner is Captain Yellowbeard. So, thanks for joining us in today's show, and we will be back soon with another contest in the very near future. So, that's it. Goodbye from the cast and crew of Ameriquest. See you real soon.